Today, we're going to do this sound observance type meditation. And so we're going to start by noticing the sounds out in the distance, and then we'll start to draw our attention closer and closer inward, and then we'll move back in and out. And so that's where you're going to kind of let your attention go as we sit and meditate today. Okay. But of course, if that's not something that is working for you, you can always go back to a method that does work for you. So you can use your breath, you can use a word, you can use anything. And it's important to remember, once again, that it's not a practice of completely clearing our mind. It's a practice of beginning to learn how to observe our mind and then focus our mind. And then the more we do it, the more we invite these moments of spaciousness. But it doesn't mean that we're just going to be able to sit here and completely shut our mind off. So don't judge yourself for any kind of thoughts that arise. But if you feel yourself becoming attached or engaged in that thought process, then just try and bring yourself back. Okay, so go ahead, and I'm going to start the insight timer. And just find a tall spine. Closing your eyes, let your arms rest comfortably. You're just going to begin to tune in to your sense of hearing. And we're going to start to notice those sounds that are out as far into the distance as you can hear. So notice what's outside of the room or the building or the space that you're in. And as you begin to notice those sounds, you start to bring your attention a little bit closer. Notice what sounds you can hear just outside of the room that you're in. And then you bring your attention even closer into the room that you're in. And we move it a little closer to our physical body. Are there any sounds just outside of your physicality? And then you start to bring your attention to your breath. Noticing the sound of your breath moving in and your breath moving out. And then as you bring your attention even deeper, begin to notice if you can find a sound internally. And maybe even begin to find a hint of a silence. And then we start to redirect that. We come back to the sound of our breath. We come back to the sound of the space just outside of our physical body. And then we notice sounds in the room. Sounds right outside of the building we're in. And then you move your attention to any sounds out in the distance. And we stay with this pattern, noticing the sounds in the distance, moving gently closer until we come to our breath. And we move a little deeper inward. And see if you can begin to find a touch or a hint of silence. And then you move right back out. And so you take your time. If you feel your mind wandering or moving elsewhere, chattering, notice it. Let it go. And come back to sound. If you feel your mind wandering, you notice it. You come back to the present moment, back to the sound that you're hearing, starting in the distance, gradually moving closer, and then gradually moving inward. And as you begin to move deeper inward, you invite the sense of connecting to a place of silence and stillness, even if it's just a moment. And then you move right back out, back to your breath, back to the sounds just outside of you, back to the space that's surrounding you, and right back out into the distance. Our mind wanders. We notice it. We meet ourselves with kindness and we come back. We notice those sounds out in the distance. Gradually bringing our attention closer to the sounds outside of the building, outside of the room, to the sounds within the room or the space you're in, to the sound of your breath, any other sounds in your body. Bringing your attention deeper inward, maybe finding a moment of silence, maybe not. And then we move right back out, back to our breath, back to the space directly outside of our body, back to the room, to the building, outside of the building, and then off into the distance. So then gently begin to release your focus. And begin to move your fingers and your toes, maybe your shoulders, maybe your neck. You take your time to come out of the meditation so we can gently crack our eyes and then close them. Doing that several times. So you're not abruptly coming out of a deep state of focus, but instead you're taking your time to reintegrate. And so, when you're ready, you can open your eyes back up and just take a moment to seal what you did for yourself. You can bring your hands to your heart or let your arms rest by your side. Taking a moment to notice how you feel. Thank you for joining me. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you find freedom, know peace, and walk through the world with ease.